For me, the darkest place I came to was that I was too far gone where my children would have been better off without me.
Well, thanks, Amanda, for coming on and telling your story.
Thanks for
Yeah.
having me.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, we'll just jump right in without delaying here. So the early part of your story, where were you raised, born, all that?
Yeah, so I grew up in Greece, in Rochester. Have been born and raised in Greece my whole life. My parents are still happily married today. I just have one brother, but I live in Greece with my husband and my two kids now, like 5 minutes from them. And my childhood was really great. My neighbors, we were all tight like family. Growing up, I lived in a cul-de-sac, so we had a ton of, childhood friends we grew up with our whole lives. It was awesome.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Did you how many siblings? Sorry. I don't
Just
know.
one brother.
Just one.
One
Okay.
brother better, yeah.
Great. So just pretty normal childhood, nothing crazy.
Yeah, I
What
was super blessed in my childhood.
awesome.
Just, like, camping trips and Darien Lake all the time, just playing outside every day. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, sounds like a great childhood to me. Did, into your, like, earlier, like, 10, 11, 12, 13, you middle school, early high school, like, how did that go?
Yeah, it was more in middle school, high school that I was, more, curious and, pretty rebellious,
Mm.
actually. Yeah. My brother and I fought all the time when we were younger. And my parents were more workaholics than anything. They were not home a lot. I wanted to play sports and stuff, but my brother was really good and into not football, basketball. And so
Mm.
my parents kind of tended to that more and they just didn't have time to get me anywhere. So I didn't really have any hobbies in high school, and I hung out with a lot of older kids,
Mm.
and I just, tried to not be home a lot because nobody was there, or me and my brother fought. So I was into a lot of trouble a lot. Um, just kind of roaming the neighborhood with kids, doing bad things. I mean, I started smoking when I was like 12.
Mm.
I thought it was cool to pick up cigarettes, and then
Mm.
that led into, drinking really young in middle school. I remember, um, knowing people that would go to the bootlegger for me and, the older kids, we would, collect lunch money and go with money from the lunches to party every weekend.
And how old were you?
That was in, 6th, 7th, 8th grade.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
pretty young.
Yeah, and then as soon as high school hit, there were more drugs introduced, and just the parties and stuff was insane. So, that led me into a whole realm of trouble.
Sure. Before you were even graduated high school, like, you started getting in a lot of trouble or
Yeah, so when I was 15, that was a really critical, uh, pivotal year for me. We had, um friends in the neighborhood that, uh, overdosed. So
Mm.
I saw death really young. I
Wow.
watched people die from drugs that I didn't see before. I didn't know they were doing those kinds of drugs,
Mm.
from heroin, and, that was like hush hush. I drank and smoked pot a lot, and then when my brother's best friend died, and then even a year before that, my friends, died in a car accident from drinking and driving right when they just got their permit, right around finals. So every year in high school, freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year, every year around June, a friend would die tragically, and that really messed me up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Yeah. So I saw the effects and consequences from other people, and it steered me away for a while, but there was a I think my 10th grade was the worst year of being unhealthy and just trying to numb and not feel and not go through the emotions
Mhm.
of it all. Yeah.
So did it escalate as you got older into your, like, sort of towards college age as far as the alcohol, the partying, the drugs, or anything like that? Or was it did it all kinda did you just sort of stay the same throughout all that?
So I just want to go back. My parents never raised me in church or anything.
Okay.
And they just said, like, you need to have faith in God, and that was it.
Sure.
So I met um, someone when I was 8, and she just told me the gospel and said, if I trust in Jesus, then I'll go to heaven. Well, I was scared that I was gonna go to hell. So I just trusted in Jesus right away with childlike faith. So growing up, I was very still like abusing grace all the time,
Mm.
thinking I was saved.
Mhm.
And then when I was entering high school, it was just self-will run riot. Like, you're not gonna tell me what to do. I'm gonna live my life, and I don't wanna be contained. I don't give me rules, and I'm gonna break them on purpose because 'cause you're not the boss of me. I was my own boss. It was just really rebellious
Mhm.
thinking. And then, when people started to die that were close to me in my life, then I really leaned into prayer and seeking,
Mhm.
I don't want religion. I thought it was weird that, some people might be offended, but I don't care. I just had it was the rebellious attitude in me. I thought it was weird people would call, like, a priest father. I'm like, "No, you're not my father. You're not holier than me."
Sure.
I'm like, "You're a sinner. I don't know why you're wearing that." And, I just anything that was, like, an authority that felt like they thought they were higher and better was like, "No." Like,
Yeah.
"No, I don't want that. I don't want religion. I just want truth." And I was on a mission to, seek Christ. I just wanted Jesus. I just
Mm.
wanted to know what the Bible said. So when I went into junior year, my parents were big on us going to college. They were like, "If you want to go to college, that's fine, but you should have a trade just in case the economy crashes. You have something to fall back on." So I wanted to do hair since I was 5, and I planned on going to a MoCo like since I was little. So when I walked into Wamoko my junior year of high school, that's when I met my best friend, Katie, and she was like, "You're saved and you don't go to church?" And I was like, "Yeah, so." So she was like, "Well, you should come to where I go." And it was a non-denominational church. I'll never forget when she said just Christian Bible. I was like, "Yes, I just want the Christian Bible." So
Sure.
then I kept going. I kept going hungry for truth, but before that, I was searching. I went everywhere. I went to like a messianic temple, a Jewish temple. I went to like every Catholic church there was because my aunt was, but then I was like, no, no. And then just churches all over the city I went to, and I was like, no, this isn't right. So when I went there, it was just the Christian Bible, and I started seeking, but I still had a really hard time, not picking up. And I just thought that if I was a young mom married to a Christian man, I would be better. Like
Mhm.
that would save me from myself.
Mhm.
And I knew I was my own worst enemy. So I was looking for a way out, but in the wrong way. And I just thought if I was a Christian, I just want to be a Christian wife and a Christian mom and be home, raise my kids, do hair, and be in the Lord. And it was just every relationship was toxic. I dated
Mm.
everyone that smoked and drank like me, that um just it was not healthy at all. And even men that said they were saved and believed in Christ did not walk the walk. And I was so discouraged. I was married and divorced at 18, 19 years old.
Wow.
That friend of mine who led me to the Lord, her older brother was in Bible college and thought, oh, he's the one because he's in Bible college and he was older than me. So I thought I was safe with that. But it was, we were both sick. We were both
Mm,
sick. And I, um, then I thought I wasn't able to become pregnant because there was so many times I tried to be and I couldn't be. Um, my aunt is barren, and my two of my aunts were barren, and my cousin. So I believed I was barren because of the times I tried, even with my ex-husband, and I was careless, stupid, and I was in full blown alcoholism in my early 20s.
mm,
And then boom, I got pregnant, and I was so happy that I couldn't pick up a drink on purpose, like,
mhm,
for my child, and I prayed, um, so much when I was so scared to be a single mom, and my parents were oddly excited too. They were like, "We're gonna be grandparents, yay!" It was just crazy, like, crazy messed up, but they were like, "We're gonna help you raise this baby, don't worry, we'll take care of you." So I was home and, working, and I had my son, and then, I met, my husband today, when my son was 3 years old, and we've been inseparable since we met, but again, um, when my son was with his father, um, uh, we split our time equally. I was still drinking. I picked up again,
mm,
and, my husband saw quickly, that I had a problem, and I finally admitted I had a problem, but it still wasn't, bottom for me until, after I had my daughter, and my kids are 8 years apart. I tried to white knuckle it for so long, and I continued to go seek God for help and healing, and I would go to church. I felt safe in church, but,
sure.
from myself, but then, no, I, had postpartum, depression,
Mm,
and, my children were not safe anymore with me. I became a daily drinker, and, then, my prayers weren't being answered. I tried to pray my way out of drinking,
mm,
and I couldn't I couldn't do it, so I felt like God had abandoned me,
mm,
that I was too far gone, and so that was where it became suicidal.
ooh,
And then I don't know, my blood pressure was so bad. I was so sick when I went to I checked myself into the doctor. I went into chemical dependency, and I don't know what the average um blood pressure medicine is, but usually people with bad blood pressures like 0.2 milligrams. I was on like 60. Like I was gonna have a heart
wow,
attack. And it was just so ugly and bad. But with the help of doctors and counselors, and my husband, I was able to detox and seek help. My calling on God at that point was, God, I know you're real. Show me real help. And that is when hitting bottom really, it was that was it. I was just seeking Him with my whole heart to see Him help me,
yeah.
and it just kept getting better.
I think that's what it is a lot of the time, I think is, we grow in our faith through seeking God, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
If it's like that half-hearted approach, like, "Yeah, God, I don't wanna drink," but it's just like a lot of us, it takes that rock bottom to really seek because 'cause we're just too, I think, full of ourselves where we, like,
Yeah.
half seek Him, but we really just wanna keep doing our thing, you know what I mean? So I feel like that's I know a lot for me anyways, it was like, "Alright, now I'm seeking. This is not a joke anymore."
Yeah, there was
You
just
know?
so many times that looked like my bottom, like was so ugly. You would have thought,
Yeah.
like, oh, she's gonna turn around now. Nope.
No, nope. Wow.
Yeah.
So that was how old were you when you started to detox and get out of that?
31,
31, okay.
32. I think it
32,
was 32.
okay.
Yeah.
And how long did that process take?
Um, when I went into my first meeting, I read the 12 steps on the wall, and it was quite humbling to go to the basement of churches to seek help how to not pick up a drink.
Mhm.
And I had so much head knowledge of the Bible already,
Yeah, sure.
and I was just like, even at the hospital, I was like, how do I put Christ on? Right? Like,
Mhm.
that's just weird to say to someone. Like, then she must have been a believer and knew the word as well. Like, she was like, I've never in 22 years ever heard a patient ask me that or say that. And then she paused really long. And she was like, I'm not worried about you in 1 or 2 years. I'm worried about you in 10. And I'm still not at 10 years sober. So I am like, give me something and I'm going to prove you wrong. Still, like in me, I'm like, I got to get to 10 years sober.
Right, right.
But no, it is one day at a time. I look at the steps and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I believe." Like I admit like I'm a sinner, I'm a wretched sinner and I believe in God. Turning step 3 was the game changer, like to turn my will and my life over to God
Mm,
as I understand him.
mhm,
And then um I didn't know that everything hinged on that. I didn't really know how to daily turn my will over.
mm,
Um and how to seek God's will in that time. And this lady, I'll never forget that first I'm crying. I'm like, I know these steps in my heart. Like, what? She goes, if you know who your God is, you ought to get to know him better. And I was like, yeah, it just clicked for me.
mm,
I needed someone to actually teach me one on one, like actual discipleship. Nobody in all these years had ever
hmm,
offered discipleship to me or, I just didn't know that was a thing. I just thought if I read that
right.
that was gonna be it. No. So, immediately and they said, "If you wanna stay sober, you need a sponsor to work through these steps. The real work happens outside of these
Sure.
meetings."
How
And that's how it is, like, going to church too. Like, the real work, the footwork happens when we're not there. So, I just called and said, "Hey, is there someone that can disciple me?" And then I was very prayerful about seeking a sponsor, um, that was really working and had the joy. I lost my joy. I had no joy,
sure.
and um, I just wanted peace, and, I just sought hard after and so this is crazy, they pray about who they're gonna partner you up with for discipleship,
Mhm.
and right away, when I didn't know who this woman was that this pastor, like, assigned me to. She shows up at my door, and I'm like, "Do I tell her, like, I'm newly sober?" Like, I'm weeks in, like, a month, 2 months maybe.
Right.
She comes over and she opens the discipleship and the first page says how to be sober and I just start bawling my eyes
Wow.
out and I'm like, this is why you're here. Like,
Yeah.
I just want to learn how to walk with God and not be destructive anymore or harm myself or harm others. I just want to be healthy. And she's like, great, let's keep reading. And she was so merciful and faithful and committed to meeting with me weekly and it's just been a blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did you still meet with her or?
Yeah, well, actually, this is just last month. It's been 8.5 years. She's been meeting with me faithfully, and she's 85 years old. She
Wow.
just had a major surgery in July 25th, and her and her husband's health isn't great anymore. So I said, "Don't worry, it's okay. I know we can't really meet anymore." So it's been really difficult accepting that
Yeah.
we won't be meeting anymore, but after she took me through all the books, she was like, "Oh, this was wonderful." I'm like, "What do you mean?" It was like after a year or 2, I think maybe a year. She thought she was done like, "Okay, well, you're off." I go, "No, you have to come and read with me. Let's like read the whole Bible together." So we read um Pastor Dylan gave referred the chronological Bible, the word in chronological
Mm,
order.
mhm.
And I said, let's she said, we're gonna read this together. We studied it though. We studied it. And that was just such a game changer again. seeing the panoramic view of it all and seeing myself in the fallen patterns and the backsliding, the coming to, and just it was crazy. It was crazy how
Yeah,
I could relate.
that's awesome. So how, 'cause like you said, you had no joy. How long did it take to sorta get that joy back and, like, just the process of, giving your life to Christ and all that? And then obviously how did your life change? Yeah.
When I right away started asking God to show up and trembling, going into the rooms of recovery, asking, continuing to ask, and then like only God can do. Like when they said I needed a sponsor, I was prayerful, like, please show me. And I was too chicken to ask this one lady who I thought was spunky and fiery, but she was genuine and sincere in her sobriety, that I was too chicken to ask. I was like, I threw my hands up. I was like, is there anyone to be a temporary sponsor? And this woman, without a word, this other woman pointed to the woman I had been praying about, but too chicken to ask. That was God. That was God intervening, like, ask her, like that push. And I've been with that same sponsor since, where she's still my sponsor today. I talk to her weekly, if not weekly, monthly. She's taken me through the steps. It took a year for me to go through the steps,
Okay.
but that gave me hope. That gave me joy to know that he was at work and I wasn't going on my own will.
Sure.
I was just seeking and he was showing up that way. Then going through the steps, like, experiencing God in the steps was so wild. I couldn't wait to wake up and experience him more. Like,
Mm,
what are you gonna do today, God? Like, who are you gonna put in my path where I'm gonna hear your truth and your grace, and one where you're gonna show me the next step? Like, where am I going today? What meeting? And who are you gonna put in my path that I can befriend, that's sober, that is living this way after you, chasing hard after him was thrilling, and it
sure.
was giving me joy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow. Yeah. That's great. Just seeing God move and put all the pieces together, you
yeah.
know?
Making it make sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've been is it 8.5 years you've been
I had
sober?
100 months sober on the
Wow,
12th. Yeah.
that's awesome. Do you have anything, like, you would wanna tell, a mom out there, like, who's in your sh who was in your shoes or maybe headed in that direction, you know?
Postpartum is really debilitating, and it's okay to ask for outside help,
Mm,
right in recovery. And there's just so much that happens to your body, to your mind,
yeah.
in that season when they're little, and,
So
I just praise God for the village he gave me, my parents, my brother, my aunt. My Aunt Kathy is such a godsend to me, my friends. There's just so many people that came alongside me. I was so blessed in the help that he gave me, and I still check in with my sponsor working these steps. These steps for me are lifelong, to stay in God's will and not mine, and to raise my children rightly, to be present and not afraid.
yeah, yeah, and now God has got you, helping with this or helping co-leading this addiction ministry with Brian, and it's just an awesome thing. Are you doing anything besides that?
Yeah.
Like, as far as okay, what else do you do?
So we bring the gospel into Norris. It's a state-run
Oh, right,
facility,
okay, mhm,
once a month, and these people that are suffering and struggling with addiction line up for these recovery life Bibles. This recovery life Bible was a breakthrough for me in my walk with
mm,
God personally, just relating the life experiences to how to stay in the peace of Him,
mhm,
and conquering just daily struggles, doing life on life's terms and not my terms.
mm,
is what the steps are all about. And there's just so much grace in that. So people are so excited for these these Bibles. And even today, after here, I get to go. There's a woman that reached out to me and she's like, "We're doing the street ministry. And I was wondering if you had any extra Bibles that we could give out because we're going to the streets. And I know these people will want this. I work in chemical dependency and I don't know how I got your name, but you guys seem to be, we've handed out over 1,000 now over the
Wow.
time span of 5 years. We gift them to every newcomer.
Sure.
They're so excited.
That's awesome. Is there anything else you'd wanna just share or close with that just how God's worked in your life or anything that, you've done in the past?
Pursue them
Mm,
for you and, not for anyone else. It's so real. God can. It's that simple. We
mhm.
complicate everything, and
Yeah.
I
Seek and
just
ye shall find, right?
yeah, it's not about going to church or even, um, trying to measure up to be better or anything like that. It's just acceptance.
Yep.
It's acceptance and receiving his love and the love that people showed me in recovery and was just totally different than
Mm,
the traditions of even people in church. I don't know. It's just different when
yeah,
you're living it, and to again, I can't stress enough to tell on ourselves when we're struggling
yeah.
and when
Don't
we need help.
isolate, right? I think everybody just
Yeah,
that's the biggest problem is people just isolate.
there is help,
Yeah.
and the Holy Spirit is the helper,
Sure.
and He works through people.
Yep.
It's incredible.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much. This
Thank
has
you
been
so
great.
much.
Yeah, to hear your story and just to see all the, results from everything that
Mhm.
you went through really. But
Yeah,
yeah.
it's great. It's great. It's
Yeah.
great to be saved from myself and
Hmm.
sober today. Yeah.
Well, thanks, Amanda. Appreciate it.
Thank you.